Did you know that the stars, planets, and galaxies we see make up only about 5% of the known universe? The rest of the stuff is made of dark matter and dark energy. And when scientists use the word dark, what they really mean is simple: they don't know. But it's not only the present and future mysteries that puzzle them. The past is just as, or in fact even more puzzling. And in this video, we'll be looking at the 15 ancient discoveries that scientists wish didn't exist. Number 15. The Tattoo Woman of the Altai Mountains. We knew that a lot of ancient mummies had tattoos, but how do you explain artwork so unique and so advanced that scientists needed infrared technology just to fully see it again after 2,300 years? Inside the frozen Altai Mountains of Siberia, archaeologists found the body of a woman from the Pazyryk culture, which was a mysterious Iron Age society that lived between the 6th and 2nd centuries BCE. The ice preserved her body so well that traces of tattoo ink still can be seen. But when researchers used near-infrared imaging, what they found was beyond words. Her arms carried long images of tigers, leopards, deer, and mythical griffins attacking prey. Tiny rooster-like creatures were tattooed onto her fingers and thumbs. Every figure was made using hand-poked needles, almost identical to techniques still used by tattoo artists. Experts even found evidence that different artists worked on different sections of her body. One side showed clean lines, the other looked rougher. No one knows what the symbols meant. The Pazyryk left behind no written records, only frozen bodies covered in images that still cannot be explained. Number 14. The Morrisonville chain. Well, back in 1891, a woman named Mrs. S.W. Culp from Morrisonville made a claim that still appears in discussions about impossible artifacts today. While breaking apart a lump of coal in her kitchen stove, she, as she described, discovered a delicate gold chain trapped inside the coal itself. According to newspaper accounts published at the time, the chain measured nearly 10 inches long, and both ends remained fixed inside the broken coal pieces as if the object had been sealed there before the rock hardened. What made the story impossible to believe was the age of the coal. The deposits mined around Illinois date back roughly 300 million years to the Carboniferous period, long before humans existed, according to modern science. If the chain truly formed inside untouched coal, it would completely destroy the accepted timeline of human history. Some argue the chain probably slipped into a crack naturally, or the story became exaggerated over time. Unfortunately, the chain itself vanished long ago, so it's still a mystery. Number 13. The buried megaliths of Gornaya Shoria. Siberia already feels isolated enough to hide forgotten history, which is why the discoveries made in Gornaya Shoria shocked so many experts. In 2014, Russian explorers photographed huge stone blocks stacked along remote mountain slopes deep within southern Siberia. Some of the blocks appeared to weigh thousands of tons, far larger than stones used at places like Baalbek or the Egyptian pyramids. What disturbed researchers most was the precision. Several formations showed flat surfaces, sharp angles, and joints fitted tightly together as if shaped deliberately. Some archaeologists visiting the region argued the structures resembled ancient megalithic walls rather than natural rock formations created through erosion. Photographs quickly spread online and attracted international attention from people studying unexplained ancient construction techniques. Then access to the region suddenly became restricted after authorities declared the area environmentally protected. Experts seeking permits for deeper investigation were denied access, while official explanations dismissed the formations as natural structures. In fact, even today, the massive stones remain hidden inside remote Siberian forests. Number 12. Volgograd discs. We're sure you've heard stories about mysterious objects buried beneath the earth, but few places fueled those theories more than Medveditskaya Ridge in Russia. This remote region became famous after researchers reported discovering strange disc-shaped formations partially buried underground. Some of the objects looked almost artificial, with smooth circular shapes stretching several meters across. What made the story even stranger was the location itself. For years, Medveditskaya Ridge had already been linked to weird lights in the sky, electromagnetic disturbances, and repeated UFO sightings. So when reports claimed the buried disks contained traces of tungsten, a metal known for surviving extreme heat and heavily used in aerospace engineering, speculation exploded almost immediately. Some believed the formations could be remnants of ancient spacecraft buried beneath the Earth long before human civilization began recording history. Geologists totally reject those claims and argue that the objects are simply rare mineral concretions formed naturally under pressure over thousands of years. Even so, many people still struggle to explain why some of the formations look almost perfectly circular. Number 11. The Malachite Man. Imagine walking through the dry hills of Utah searching for ordinary fossils and suddenly finding something that should not exist at all. That is just what happened in 1968 when William Measter cracked open a piece of Cambrian shale near Antelope Springs. Inside the rock was a mark that looked shockingly similar to the sole of a human shoe. The outline showed what appeared to be a heel pressed into the stone, and near the center sat a trilobite fossil, an ancient sea creature that lived more than 500 million years ago. That detail is what turned a strange discovery into a historical nightmare. According to everything science accepts, human life did not exist anywhere close to that time period. The Earth back then was ruled by primitive marine organisms drifting through ancient oceans long before dinosaurs, forests, or mammals appeared. Geologists later explained the shape as a natural fracture pattern created when the shales split apart unevenly. Still, people continue debating the discovery because the impression looks oddly man-made. Number 10. The mysterious sarcophagi of Antarctica. Almost every strange theory about Antarctica begins with the same question: what exactly is hidden beneath all that ice? This continent still contains huge areas that humans have barely seen, which is why stories linked to Antarctica spread so easily. One of the most controversial claims involves the discovery of 4 mysterious sarcophagus-like structures found beneath deep layers of ice during an international expedition. According to the story, experts detected weird rectangular objects buried dozens of meters below the surface. What made this discovery so strange was the reported precision of the structures. Smooth edges, geometric symmetry, and surfaces that looked artificially shaped rather than natural. Some versions of the story claim the objects emitted low-frequency vibrations and maintained temperatures warmer than the surrounding ice. There is no verified scientific evidence proving the sarcophagi actually exist, and many researchers dismiss the entire story as internet mythology mixed with conspiracy theories. But the mystery never completely disappeared, and maybe it never will. What do you say? Number 9. The Sphinx water erosion investigation shutdown. Most people look at the Great Sphinx and see an old monument buried in sand. But geologist Robert Schoch saw something different. During the early 1990s, he studied the deep erosion patterns covering the Sphinx enclosure and argued they were caused by prolonged rainfall, not wind and sand. That detail changed everything because Egypt has not experienced heavy rainfall for thousands of years. If Schoch was right, the Sphinx could be far older than dynastic Egypt itself. Several geologists agreed that the vertical weathering looked more consistent with water erosion than desert conditions. The theory suggested the monument may date back to a wetter phase of the Sahara around 7000 BC or earlier, long before the rise of the pharaohs. The reaction from Egyptian authorities quickly became hostile. Permits for geological drilling and detailed testing were denied, and researchers linked to the project claimed their investigations were abruptly stopped after uncovering evidence supporting the theory. The erosion marks still remain visible today, but a serious investigation into their true age remains heavily restricted. Number 8. The Kingman UFO artifact. Arizona's desert has always attracted stories about strange lights and military secrecy, but the Kingman incident became different after multiple witnesses described physical objects allegedly recovered from a crash site in 1953. According to later testimonies, military personnel quickly sealed the area while engineers and technical specialists were brought in to examine unusual debris scattered across the desert floor. One engineer interviewed years later described materials unlike anything he recognized from conventional aerospace manufacturing. He spoke about lightweight metallic components, showing no visible welds or fasteners, along with strange symbols appearing on panel like surfaces recovered from the wreckage. Other witnesses later surfaced claiming they helped transport crates from the crash area to military installations under heavy security. None of the alleged artifacts was ever officially acknowledged by the official, which only intensified speculation surrounding the incident. Researchers investigating the story compared it to Roswell because both cases involved rapid military response followed by years of secrecy and denial. Whether the Kingman materials were experimental tech or something far stranger, the reported debris disappeared into classified programs and never returned to public view again. Number 7. Pyramid of Senusret III. Most tourists rush toward Giza and completely ignore the darker pyramids scattered across Dashur. One of the strangest belongs to Pharaoh Senusret III, a ruler of Egypt's 12th dynasty nearly 4,000 years ago. From the outside, the pyramid looks damaged and ordinary, but the interior tells a different story. Deep passageways lead toward burial chambers where unusual graffiti still covers certain walls. One carving shows a human face with what looks disturbingly similar to a modern hairstyle, something completely out of place inside an ancient royal tomb. Several sarcophagi belonging to female members of the royal family were discovered there, yet Senusret's own body never appeared. Some historians blame grave robbers. Others think the pharaoh may have been buried secretly somewhere else entirely. The pyramid also contains architectural changes suggesting repeated modifications over long periods. Even after decades of excavation, Egyptologists still debate what truly happened inside the tomb and why the king himself completely vanished from history there. Now, let's move to number 6, the Teos Cave exploration ban. Deep inside Ecuador's jungle lies a cave system surrounded by stories so strange that even experienced explorers struggled to separate fact from myth. In 1965, Hungarian-Argentine explorer Juan Moritz claimed he discovered massive underground chambers inside the Teos caves containing metallic tablets engraved with unknown writing. According to him, the caves held evidence of an advanced lost civilization hidden beneath South America for thousands of years. The claims became so famous that a huge expedition was organized in 1976 involving British specialists, Ecuadorian military teams, and even astronaut Neil Armstrong. The explorers mapped enormous chambers stretching deep into the mountain and documented unusual formations inside the cave system. Official reports remained cautious, but later accounts from people involved in the expedition suggested certain discoveries were never publicly discussed. Some claimed deeper sections showed signs of artificial modification, including carved surfaces and geometric structures. And soon afterward, Ecuador imposed strict restrictions on the caves. Number 5. Skeletons of giants. Almost every ancient civilization left behind stories about giants. The Sumerians wrote about towering beings connected to the Anunnaki, the Bible mentioned the Nephilim, and Native American tribes described enormous warriors who arrived from the sky. Because these stories appear across cultures separated by oceans, many researchers have wondered why the same idea keeps repeating throughout human history. During the 19th and early 20th centuries, newspapers in North America frequently reported discoveries of unusually large skeletons inside burial mounds. Some accounts described skulls and bones suggesting heights far beyond ordinary human proportions. Similar claims later appeared in parts of South America and the Andes. Most of those discoveries eventually disappeared into private collections, museums, or poorly documented archives, which only fueled more speculation. Mainstream archaeologists argue that many reports were exaggerations, newspaper sensationalism, or misidentified remains. Still, the fascination never vanished completely. Giant legends continue surviving because they leave behind one disturbing possibility. Humans may not be the only race. Number 4. The Lost Pyramid City of China. Northern China hides ruins that almost nobody talked about until recently. Then archaeologists uncovered Shimao, a massive walled city built more than 4,000 years ago beside the Tuwei River. At the center stood a stepped pyramid rising nearly 250 feet above the landscape, surrounded by enormous stone fortifications that completely changed assumptions about early Chinese civilization. The real shock came during excavations near the pyramid's base. Archaeologists uncovered pits filled with hundreds of human skulls, many belonging to young women. The bodies showed signs of ritual sacrifice rather than warfare. Researchers believe ceremonies may have taken place in large plazas before victims were buried around the pyramid complex itself. The city existed centuries before historians expected societies in northern China to organize construction on such a scale. But still, no one knows the whole story. Number 3. The Second Sun. Every few years, the idea of a hidden second sun returns because the theory touches one of humanity's oldest fears. What if something big is moving through our solar system without us fully understanding it? The object is often called Nemesis, a hypothetical companion star once proposed by scientists to explain strange extinction cycles on Earth. During the 1980s, experts noticed that major extinction events appeared to happen roughly every 26 million years. That pattern led to a disturbing possibility. Some astronomers suggested a dark, distant star might orbit our sun far beyond Pluto, near the outer edges of the Oort cloud. According to the theory, its gravity could occasionally disturb billions of frozen comets and send massive waves of debris toward the inner solar system. Some of those objects could eventually collide with Earth and trigger catastrophic extinctions. Modern infrared sky surveys later failed to find evidence for Nemesis, and most scientists rejected the theory. But the idea never completely disappeared. Because if extinction follows a hidden cosmic cycle, humanity may simply be waiting for the next pass. Number 2. Proto-Elamite script. Some ancient languages disappeared so completely that we cannot even understand what civilization was trying to say. Proto-Elamite is one of those mysteries. The script appeared around 5,000 years ago in what is now Iran, making it older than every undeciphered writing system on Earth. Thousands of symbols survive on clay tablets, yet nobody can read them with certainty. At first, the markings look organized and deliberate, almost mathematical in structure. Researchers believe many tablets may record trade, livestock, or administration, but those are still educated guesses. The real problem is isolation. Proto-Elamite does not clearly connect to later writing systems, which means linguists lack the translation bridges normally used to decode ancient scripts. The strangest detail is how quickly it vanished. The writing system survived only a few centuries before disappearing from history without explanation. Number 1. Asteroid influence and contact with the gods. People often connect ancient civilizations with the stars, but some theories go much further and suggest cosmic disasters may have shaped entire belief systems. One example involves the asteroid impact linked to the extinction of the dinosaurs around 66 million years ago. The impact created the Chicxulub crater beneath the Yucatan Peninsula in modern-day Mexico, the same region where the Maya civilization later emerged thousands of years afterward. There is no evidence showing the Maya knew dinosaurs existed, but their mythology focused heavily on cycles of destruction, floods, darkness, and rebirth. Some researchers believe ancient people preserved memories of natural disasters through myths passed down across generations. Massive floods, volcanic eruptions, meteor events, and earthquakes often became stories about angry gods or cosmic punishment. Certain ruined cities and buried structures in Mesoamerica have fueled speculation about ancient cataclysms, although archaeologists explain them through known environmental changes and warfare. The more dramatic theories suggesting direct contact between the Maya and aliens remain unsupported by evidence. Even so, the connection between astronomy, mythology, and disaster played a huge role in Maya culture. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.